I feel a little guilty because I'm literally interrupting the back end of the Get Wrecked cast in order to do this, but you know, it's the timing.
Yeah, sometimes that's just how it works out.
So technically, like 3/4 of Game 3 has been streamed, but we're not starting there.
Effective.
I think I tried to match up the. I didn't have anything to go on other than the like match ID number.
Mm-hmm.
So the one I called Game 1 should be like Camille, Nunu, Galio.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's always what I do, is the last two numbers of the match ID from match history.
Yeah, I tried 2, and then Game 1 and Game 2 are actually both end in 29, so it's 729 and 029. But
Fantastic. Thank you, Riot Games. I watched the VOD of you and Aikedo casting Gold, and I forgot how much of a shit show that series was.
oh man, that was there's some special performances across the board.
You know, the Kill Race Gold games are fun, but I prefer a series more like the one we had against GMB, where I don't have to turn the brain off. Otherwise, I'd end up with, like, negative IQ. But I did get to play Brand, which was nice.
Yeah, your brand was pretty dirty, actually. Like,
It's been a while. It wasn't quite as bad as me pulling out Leona in the third match of GMB, having not played it since 2016. But that isn't really a mechanically demanding character.
Yeah, Brand isn't like super mechanical, but you gotta hit your skill shots, and you have to realize like you're really fucking squishy, so you can get a little too aggressive on him.
Yeah. Leona, I can just roll my face on the keyboard. We got Cloud Soul and Solar Flare hit 35-second CD. So the comms kind of devolved at the end of it. I was just, Solar Flare's back up, go in.
Alright, I've got Game 1 loaded. I don't know.
I'm sitting at zeros. Nobody's on the spawn pad yet.
Got no one in chat currently. Okay. Hopefully they'll make their way in here. We can start it up though, because these will be a couple longer games. Oh, chat actually just lied to me. Tendies is here. Perfect. Okay. So yeah, officially welcome. This is week 5 of GRLCS Diamond, between Return of the Middle Sticks and the U.S. Army Esports. I had a little side rant tangent prepared about my opinions about the U.S. Army Esports team, but I won't go there and punish you for it. So, needless to say, any mentions of war crimes are strictly tongue-in-cheek and do not necessarily represent the values of Return of the Middle Sticks or Get Wrecked. All right. I think that's fair.
Yeah, that's a good disclaimer.
Okay.
I think it's a topical disclaimer, if nothing else.
Yeah. Anyway, my name is Merstomatic. With me tonight is, I don't know what you prefer. I always just know you as Neo, but
yeah,
Oath is, I think, the current name.
In these circles, it doesn't matter. Oath is fine, because the number of accounts I have banned have required me to come up with a new name, so... I ran out of special characters, variations of the same special character to put on the old one, so...
So on to the new. Reborn from the ashes of Neo is Oath. Alright, Let's go ahead and get this started then. 3, 2, 1, start. And on the blue side of the rift, wearing the blue health bars for game number 1, will be the U.S. Army Esports team. Pork Chop in the top lane on Renekton, Wairito in the jungle on Volibear, Alacrity in mid on Zoe, and Talented and It's Me That's OP in the bot lane playing Ashe Set.
And over on the red side of the rift, we've got Return of the Middle Sticks Diamond, Tendies 2 up in the top lane on Camille, Loker in the jungle on Nunu, Kyrogenes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, I nailed it first time. In the mid lane on Galio, and let's have fun and curb stomp in the bot lane on Senna and Braum.
Oh, the
and that's
flash forward for the face breaker. Tendy's able to get the flash away over the wall, and he'll survive the delayed invade on the top side.
You know, we don't do it a whole lot, but that's one of my favorite invade paths actually, because it's so uncommon for the jungler to, or for the top laner to expect the aggression coming into top Tribrush. They normally almost never sit there. They're usually around the red buff.
Yeah, so he did get 3 summoner spells for that, so 3 for 1 trade on it, and it's his fellow top laner's flash, so not at like a significant disadvantage, even though that lane is already kind of rough. The Renekton to Camille, or I guess the Camille into Renekton is the way we're framing it. Camille has a rough time usually in this matchup, but yeah.
Yeah, it's not super fun, but it's it can be dealt with mostly by items. As they scale up in items, they get a little bit closer, is my understanding of the matchup.
Yeah. Basically, you need to be really careful level 2, level 3, and level 6 against Renekton. If you can survive all of that without giving up too much, you're in a pretty good spot. He's actually skilled. So he's skilled W, I guess, for the invade, and that's kind of interesting. Anyway, top lane main, talking too much about top lane. Bot lane's way more interesting, apparently.
According to directive camera, almost always more interesting. Is my understanding. Now, this is something that I did want to ask before we move too far away from the top lane matchups. I've heard different things as we see the sleep land, but I think Kurogenes is completely fine. Is this one of those lanes where you just max W on Camille by default, or do you not need to, really?
With Grasp, as the Grasp tech, it's fine. You can still go E or Q or whatever your big preference is. You don't need to do the W and play really passive. In my experience, I guess. You know, Wairito's here. They're gonna just kill Porkchop. He just wandered in and didn't have the empowered W up. And Tennis is out with the hookshot.
Yeah,
all right,
yep,
well.
And he's out of there. Porkchop could have probably played that a little bit slower, waiting for Wairito to come in, but you can't play your hand too heavily and show that it's a gank without Tendy's just deciding that he wants to go for the kill as a potential trade, and then he doesn't even trade. He just gets out.
Yeah, I just thought it was very strange. Maybe he thought he was going to hit level 2. We're going to continue to force in the mid lane, though. A bunch of flashes blown, and Loker is going to pay for it. But Tendy's has now got the teleport in, hits the slow onto Wairito. He doesn't have any buffs available, but just going to take him down. Wairito not able to get away from the pressure from Tendy's. And the hookshot gets him stuck on the wall. A little bit of a trade from Alacrity, but Tendy's is 2-0 on Camille, and that is a dangerous time for
somebody get the emote in here. I'm waiting on it. I'm excited for that one.
I think,
go ahead.
I was gonna say I think that one's gonna be the next one. Once we hit, or if we hit 15 sub points, I think that'll be the next emote we throw in. So
nice. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of set support, even still, with some of the changes that it's received, but the bot lane of Return the Middlesticks Diamond seems to be basically everything that's needed to absorb aggression. So it doesn't really get to be as impactful as maybe it could have been.
Yeah, Loker finds the biggest snowball ever onto Porkchop. Tendy's is here for the rest of the damage. Porkchop still doesn't have his flash up, which you can time with your own flash, so that's really nice. And Tendy's will take home his killing spree.
Yeah, that's a really good punish there. Porkchop playing a little bit too far up in lane, even though he is at the midpoint of the lane. It's 2-0 on Camille. You really can't be out that far if you're expecting any sort of pressure to come up that way.
Bot lane getting some autos down. Meanwhile, Loker's in mid getting another gank off. Just rolled his snowball from top lane to mid. It's me that's OP's going to fall. The dangerous, deadly, damaging combo of Senna and Braum somehow get a kill in the 2v2. It's Senna Braum with a cull. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're right. I was trying to justify it in my head a little bit, but no, there's no way that ever should happen.
Talented dodges out the W, but here comes the volley bear. Gets hit by the winner's bite. going to be a couple more autos before he gets stunned. Curb Stomp gets the heal, trying to back off with the Unbreakable. Now finally the stun comes through, but here comes Loker looking for the snowball, but he'll get pulled out of it by It's Me That's OP off of the respawn. Wairito's super low. One more auto will finish him off. Now Let's Have Fun trying to kite back out after he gets ignited. Curb Stomp's low. It's Me That's OP throws the Haymaker, but not able to connect with Curb Stomp. Talented is super low. One more auto's going to do it. It's a double kill for Let's Have Fun in the bottom lane.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate timing there for It's Me That's OP on the stun. Curb Stomp gets to walk out of range of the W before it gets thrown. And then Let's Have Fun's just kind of free autoing during that entire experience. So yeah, that's how you end up with 3-0 Senna, who started Cole and still hasn't backed yet.
Yeah, he'll be very happy with the way the game is going, and honestly, Return of the Middle Stick's already running away with it. Just a 3,000 gold lead at 6 minutes. Loker's been everywhere on this Nunu.
Yeah, he really has been having a time of it with his early game impact. Finally gets a recall off to pick up the bombies and the upgraded jungle item. But yeah, with all the gank he's been doing, I'm surprised he's up in camps.
Oh, Tendies, they're going to use a bunch of ults. It's actually the Cairo coming in with grand entrance, and Wairito will fall. A really well-timed roam by Cairo, and they'll pick up 2 kills in the top lane after Wairito gets his gank turned around.
That was so well done from Tendies to extend his effective life pool by going untargetable with the Hextech ultimatum, waiting for the Galio ult to come in.
Alacrity just forced to back off of the wave because Curb Stomp walks at him. Just can't even get the free minion wave in mid after Galio roams up to top with the ultimate.
Yeah, no, despite the fact that Let's Have Fun is 3-0, that's not really the goal that they went for with this lane. You kind of want Curb Stomp leaving lane a little bit on the Braum, especially with the Swifty boots already picked up. And you also kind of want Let's Have Fun to just be able to free farm. The kills weren't exactly what they had necessarily had in mind when they drafted this, I don't think.
Yeah, in that gank in top lane actually took me a little bit by surprise. For some reason, I thought the Galio was on Army's team. They were going for just the mega gank on Tendies, but it was Cairo saving the day, so I fumbled over everything. But yeah, really well played on that roam, and Kirby, even with the roam, enables that wave to get frozen wherever they want to. Now a stun going to land in bottom as they, you know, continue to just throw abilities back across the chasm at each other.
Yeah, and now at this point, I'm pretty sure top lane's just anathema. If you're US Army Esports, you have no choice but to start trying to play through bottom lane, which is exactly what RotM Diamond wants. It's why they've drafted this bot lane in particular. It's very difficult to gank, even with the Hex Flash setting you up.
Yeah, and even then now, Senna's so far ahead with just the pickaxe has more AD than the Ashe does. Talented. Oh, able to just dodge out of the Senna W. Really good facebreaker, though, from It's Me That's OP. They're looking to turn this around. Let's Have Fun. Has the Dawning Shadow, but not able to pop it in time. And it's a kill for It's Me That's OP. Going to go in with the set ult and not be able to find that as the Unbreakable stop the volley.
Yeah, It's Me That's OP hit 6 off of the kill and thought might just have enough damage, but otherwise just a really good play, recognizing that once they went too far forward trying to get the concussive blow stun and weren't able to proc it, then they were standing in the middle of set and he got a really high value facebreaker.
Yeah, I really like every time we zoom up to this top lane, Tendies pokes out with the tactical sweep, gets the healing and a little bit of a trade, and that's just, it's like textbook how you need to play this lane, playing it at a little bit of distance. But Porkchop now maybe getting dove. Wairito's here, but so is Cairo. The 2v3 up in the top lane as everybody jumps through. The Wairito will get taken down first by Loker, and the redive will come through, flash away from Cairo. Sleepy Trouble Bubble gonna land onto Loker. It's actually enough damage from Alacrity to get one back, at least on the dive. So 2 for 1 in the top lane. Good roam by Alacrity to at least get something back.
Yeah, weaving those abilities in, pretty effective. And what you were saying earlier about how you need to play this lane, I mean, being on the opposite end of this, because I'm not much of a Camille player myself, the tactical sweep is just really annoying to play against. It's almost like playing into Malphite, where he just Qs you on cooldown.
Yeah, just super annoying. Just that little bit of poke, little bit of healing. It doesn't feel like a whole lot, but it'll build up over the course of a couple of different trades. And now with the
It's the slow for me,
yeah,
for sure.
the Trinity Force against Phage in the top lane.
Mm.
Just a little Tendies diff happening there. And in the bottom lane, it's Let's Have Fun diff. He's got the finished Man Immune, now going to work on this Dragon along with Loker and Curb Stomp. Rito can't really do anything. He could flash over, try for a steal, but that's not really worthwhile. So first Dragon of the game finally taken at
yeah, he's got no way back out after if he does that because the ult's down.
Yeah, Alacrity gonna get forced on by Loker. They'll get the Galio ult as Rito forced to flash out the other side, but let's have fun here. A couple more autos will get the stun off of the Braum passive, and Rito's going to fall, and really nothing that Talented or Alacrity can do. Hits the bubble on the way out, just gonna annoy Cairo a little bit.
Yeah, that flash into the pathing from Rito kind of made him live a little longer than he probably should have because he was dodging abilities by merit of existence, but it was kind of inevitable that he was going to go down there with how many resources were expended. And for the amount of resources expended, Return of the Middlesticks has quite a few more that they can expend in whichever lane they choose to target next. I think Loker's going to try and pick up Rift Herald before they make another play.
Yeah, they've got the Rift Herald. They'll have a couple of minutes to use it. I think I'd really like to see a teleport or a double teleport down to this bottom lane. Just get rid of this one strong point for US Army, but we'll see what they want to do, what they're setting up for here in the next 2 minutes or so with that Rift Herald.
Yeah, and Loker's going to visit up in the top lane again. He's just going to drop it immediately. They don't care about getting the full execute. Rito is up here, but I don't think they can do anything.
Oh, even the teleport from Cairo, they're looking for the 2v3. Zoe's already roamed up here, so we'll be able to join the fight as Porkchop just trying to stave off Shelly, but gets chunked out underneath his tower. He's so low, and Tendies will finish him off after that Hextech ultimatum. Now kiting back, the tactical sweep gets a little bit of distance. Loker comes in, gets his absolute zero interrupted. Cairo forced to just walk through the turret kind of awkwardly, and Rito and Alacrity gonna find him. Sleepy Trouble Bubble gonna land, and they should finish him off with an auto, so... not the most successful dive, but they do trade 1 for 1.
Yeah, Cairo was trying to follow to help the same way Loker did, but Loker got so much movement speed off of the phase rush that couldn't be matched by Cairo, and then he was just taking turret shots. It feels really bad.
Yeah, so now still the 2v2, the mid jungle versus top jungle. Alacrity throws out the combo trying to hit Loker, but Tendies is going to find him. Ooh, doesn't get the adaptive shield there, and that's going to cost him after the ignite from Alacrity.
Yeah, that ignite came through immediately as the real ignite, so at least you can say that you got the summoner out of that, but that feels really bad. That's so much gold that just went over to Alacrity.
Yeah, 4 and 1 on the Zoe, going to be a real point of strength for US Army, and we'll see if they can continue to play through the Zoe and find their way back into the game. It's Me That's OP comes in with the settle, just trying to find anything they can. This is a decent trade so far for them, but let's have fun. Tanking through everything. Talent finally goes down as Porkchop joins the fray off of the teleport, and it'll be a 2 for 2. Never mind, all the bot laners die.
Man, that felt really bad for Talented because that setup for It's Me That's OP as low as he was almost perfect into the Ash Arrow, and then Braum's Shield just ate literally every auto for like the entirety of Ranger's focus duration.
Yeah, really hard to play that fight with your damage being essentially 0 through that, and also probably trying to focus the Senna when you're just doing damage to the Braum feels pretty bad. So really well played by Curb Stomp, good positioning there, and the little extra shield from, or the healing, I guess, from the Piercing Darkness enough for Let's Have Fun to tank through it. But now the jungler, well, that's not the junglers, that's a jungler and a support just wandering into each other. Loker just throws the pink ward over the wall. Having the time of his life on the Nunu, has the phase rush to try to speed out, but Alacrity will take 3/4 of his health for his trouble.
Yeah, and we're at a game state where I always struggle with finding things to talk about as the one tasked with providing analysis, because there's not really anything on the map until the Infernal Drake comes up, and we're also not at a point where I feel like US Army Esports has any chance of contesting if there are more than 4, maybe 5 RotM members in attendance, so...
Yeah, we can look at a couple of items have come through completed. The Luden's Echo, nothing really seems out of place, so that's even a little bit boring to talk about. Let's have fun going for the Black Cleaver, though. I really like that pick. Do you want to talk about why that's really strong on Senna for a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, you do have mid and jungle as primarily AP, but with Tendies being the primary PowerPoint and Let's Have Fun playing mostly a setup and annoyance ADC, I don't like using the word utility because I think
they're trying to force onto Rito. It'll get the Stormbreaker out in exchange for the Glacial Fissure?
Yes. I believe so. Glacial Fissure.
There's so many glacial abilities, especially when like Lyssandra's popular. It just like melts my brain for some reason. But yeah,
I miss Lysandra being a champion. The Aftershock change for mages kind of just pushed her back out of meta again.
Yeah, just that little bit of pressure though from Loker and Cairo. Oh, the Hex Flash over the wall. It's me that's OP trying to get it. Gonna ult Curb Stomp back over. It'll get the ult out of Let's Have Fun, as well as a bunch of summoner spells. That was a nifty little play from It's Me That's OP.
Yeah, three summoner spells for that little kidnapping that occurred over the wall there.
Oh, but Loker is in pursuit of the Ashe, the immobile AD carry, able to flash away from the snowball, but it's going to be his support that pays the price. Rito trying to fight back is Talented, eventually able to burn through Curb Stomp. Sleepy Trouble Bowl, ooh, just deftly dodged by Loker, and Let's Have Fun, and they'll be able to retreat to their tower. Cairo, in position, could look to turn it around with a Galio ult. We'll see if they want to commit to a dive. Tendies, meanwhile, is isolated in the 1v1, right where he wants to be. Loker in trouble as he'll get slept underneath the tower, but apparently not going to die because top lane's more important. Let's Have Fun hits the W. Now Cairo actually did burn the ult. He's down here. Gets the taunt onto Talented. This isn't really the fight that ROTM wants, and they're going to... Oh, take a tower shot? Get the big snare? Let's Have Fun trying to turn it. The big Senna damage coming through. Doesn't have Mana Immune completed, so it's a little bit of a meme right now. But
yeah, I think when directed camera put us back in top lane was about when Cairo's ult came in, which is what discouraged the dive. But yeah, if that double sidestep doesn't come through on the Zoe bubble, we're looking at a very different experience, one where bot lane tower probably goes down and US Army Esports is able to pick up a little bit more of the standing gold they have on the map, but it was really well dodged away from, and even that play down there that they were creating was kind of stifled.
Yeah, and we are kind of seeing one of the issues with the RTM team comp is these 4 members don't have a huge amount of like damage and agency on their own. Once Let's Have Fun gets that Mana Immune completed, we'll start to see it a little bit, but they really need Tendies to come through and provide a bulk of the damage for this team comp. And they have the Camille Galio combo that we actually haven't seen them chain together yet. But it'd be really nice to see maybe a swap, just something to change things up and get the game moving a little bit again, because we've kind of stagnated here at about 4,000 gold.
Yeah, I feel pretty vindicated that this happens in Diamond 2, because this is one of the primary drafting problems I run into when I create comps for gold, is because Sinister likes playing Galio. I like having Galio teams, but Galio plus tank support plus tank jungle creates damage issues, and especially when you put Sin as your primary ADC, even with a carry top laner who got really far ahead, that carry top laner is going to be in top lane for at least the first 20 minutes typically, if not longer.
Yeah, it'll tilt a little bit once Let's Have Fun finishes the Maramuna, once Cairo gets the Liandry's Torment, but for now it's kind of the one-man show. It's as much as Tendies can take care of, and he could start chunking through this tower in top lane, choosing to prioritize minions. Can't really fault him for that. Looks like an engage. Big Facebreaker, actually, from It's Me That's OP. The Stormbreaker coming through, but the good turn from Let's Have Fun, saving everybody with that Dawning Shadow, and Talented will take that extra tower shot. And US Army really doesn't get a whole lot. They get nothing. They get the ults for that, essentially. And Loker and Tendies will take care of the top lane turret. You still have a minute 30 on Dragon. Everybody can reset. That's a really good play for RTM, all things considered.
Yeah, very effective. RTM is really good at finding things to do on the map when there isn't anything to do on the map, and that's part of why they're so good at choking out other teams when they have leads like these. We see the Black Cleaver comes through and the Muramana finish around the same timing point for Let's Have Fun, so this is a really scary Senna.
Yeah, and even the Haunting guys for Cairo, it's a lot of really important items. You've got Tendies has the 2 big completed items now headed for his Death's Dance. This is going to be a scary team comp, like currently and headed into the next couple of minutes. You even have the double proto belt now because Loker finished it up on the Nunu, a man after my own heart.
Yeah, I love that selection. Nunu, who will build that before going into straight tank. But the item difference up in top lane is just absurd. You have Pork Chop, who just finished his Black Cleaver and has double Dorans, into Triforce Ravenous and the primary component for Death Dance.
Yeah, Rift Herald, the second Rift Herald pop mid, just going to be a distraction for this dragon. They're going to pick the fight, though. The Absolute Zero slowing everybody in sight. Pork Chop trying to run away. This is way more interesting than what's happening on the other side of the fight, apparently, as we get the Galio ult back in. It's me that's OP goes for the initiation, but he gets really separated by that Galio ult. So Cairo picks the good timing to pull the trigger on that. It separates, and they'll get the pick on the support. Why Rito really can't contest as he's so low. Tendi's still looking for a little bit more. Alacrity bites off a little more than he can chew. A big taunt from Cairo as they follow that one up. Pork Chop dies. It's a double kill for Tendi's, and that'll be the Bud Light ace. I still can't say it. How many times have I gone for the Bud Light ace joke and I still can't say it with a straight face? Anyway.
I couldn't tell you, honestly. It's one of those that's really hard to choke out when it's straight up like I mean, I don't know how you do it when it's actually something that you're required to say by a sponsor and not a meme that you're going for trying to say with a straight face. Like, props to props to whoever has to do that. But yeah, notable standout for that fight was Tendi's going deep in 1v4 and then Curb Stomp once again being exactly where he needed to be to stop Talented's damage. Like, that Braum shield has eaten more of Ranger's Focus Ash than he's let through, I think, in most of these team fights, so props to him for that.
Yeah, I thought Cairo played that fight really well on the Galio as well. It was pretty much a full team effort, kind of started by Loker with the big zone set up from the Nunu, and just kind of snowballed out from there. No pun intended, of course. So now, 23 minutes on the clock. Baron, basically the only objective for the next while, so we'll see if ROTM wants to set up for that, or if they're going to continue setting up for like a 1-4 with Tendies, really focusing on that push in the bottom lane. Or both at the same time. The world is their oyster with an 8,000 gold lead. Maybe not if they keep getting slept, though. Loker gets chunked through, able to heal back up with the bite. It's me that's OP. You know, really feeling himself there, but it's not enough. Loker gets a huge Absolute Zero, and it'll just follow through as Wairito gets stunned up. Tendies is teleported in, and he'll finish off 2 kills for himself. That should be the game for ROTM.
Yeah, that's gonna be the game. I do have to give props to US Army Esports on that one for not going quietly into the night. They definitely kept going for plays the entire game, but it feels bad when Set goes in like that and then doesn't even have the time to get his W off to extend his life. It's just...
Oh, the respawn timer's actually so short that Army can maybe try to defend here. The Justice Punch from Cairo, they'll try to chunk through. Finally gets his W off, but the Galio ult just keeps everybody rooted in place. Just a brutal double kill, and the Nexus falls for game number 1 for ROTM.
Yeah, really clean game from Return of the Middle Sticks. You got your top laner really far ahead, as Tendies happens to do fairly consistently, and then the extra kills that got given over to Let's Have Fun in the early game made it so that they couldn't really play through bot lane, and they kind of just got out-rotated by Gold Diff.
Yeah, Alacrity had a pretty good like early to mid game, but unfortunately just when you're behind on Zoe, it's hard to find those picks and bubbles, so wasn't able to really make the most of that pick. I thought It's Me That OP had some good looks, at least, with the set ult. If he'd been a little bit tankier, I think he gets away with some of the greedy engages, but alas, not to be for him. So 27-8 in kills for game number 1, and we'll take just a short break, and we'll be back with game number 2. One of these times while you're talking, I'm going to set everything up, and it's going to be a really smooth transition. Everybody's going to be super impressed. That wouldn't be the Maris production value, though.
I don't know. I kind of prefer it this way. Maybe I'm old-fashioned.
Alright, and then game 2, just to make sure I labeled it correctly, should be like Jax, Jarvan, Akali.
I'm getting to it right now, so
Okay.
we'll find out. If it's not 029, I messed up.
I think it's 029. That sounds right.
Yeah, because they were the ones who ended in the yeah, Jax, Jarvan, Akali.
Okay.
I like this team comp.
Yeah, I feel like they're... I mean, we can talk about it before I...
We can't waste any of the valuable color casting timing.
Oh, I need scoreboard update, and then I'll be good. They didn't change sides. Nice. Okay. Perfect. Alright, welcome back for game number 2 between US Army Esports and Return of the Middle Sticks. RotM took a pretty dominating game number 1, and we'll see if the Army can fight their way back. I can't think of a joke. I was going to make one, but there isn't one to be had. So anyway, we'll start it up. 3, 2, 1, go. And then the blue team this game, wearing the blue health bars, fighting for their series lives, will be US Army Esports. Porkchop in the top lane on Ornn, Wyrito in the jungle playing Vi, Alacrity in mid on Cassiopeia, and Talented and It's Me That's OP playing Senna and Zyra.
And over on the red side, we've got Return of the Middle Sticks Diamond, Tendies 2 up in the top lane on Jax, Loker in the jungle on Jarvan. The fourth, Kyrogenes, I messed that. See, I hesitated. That's the problem.
You didn't go with
Cryogenes,
I think is what Vid went with today. So.
Ooh, that's a feels bad.
Yeah.
And let's have fun and curb stomp in the bot lane on Ezreal Yuumi. So kind of the same thing that they went for. Super safe bot lane, fairly independent on their own 2v2, or even 1v2 as Ezreal is kind of famous for. Carry top laner, good setup early game jungle, and mid who can pop off this time. You know, you're not stuck on tank ulting duty.
Yeah, I just worry a little bit about the particular matchup. Like, I love the team comp in theory. I love those champions, the way they work together. But I just worry about their lanes, because Ezreal Yumi's going to get poked pretty hard. And probably harder than Yuumi can deal with by the Zyra Senna. Cassiopeia is kind of the known Akali counter almost. You can throw the miasma and just ruin her day.
It's pretty nightmare that matchup.
And then Ornn into Jax is pretty good for Ornn, like not terrible, which basically means that it's an Ornn favored matchup because scaling and whatnot.
Yeah, I've been trying to keep up as much as possible with play-ins. I heard some ridiculous statistic around Ornn having like a 90% win rate.
Yeah, he was 100 before the last game of the regular play-ins. Kirby's going to get ignited, not able to dash in after he got rooted. It's Me That's OP, gets low, let's have fun, just trading out autos, which actually really doesn't favor him. The Prowling Projectile trying to even it back up, but both of the summoners for Curb Stomp gone in exchange for the utility summoners from US Army.
Yeah, that's the fun calculated Yuumi bait experience where you pop off level 1 and the enemy team's like, oh, Yumi's off, we can kill her. And then she jumps back on and then you're like, oh, she's now permanently untargetable and my Zyra's at 100 HP.
Yeah, unfortunately you can get like super baited as the Yuumi, because if you get hard CC'd, it's got like that 5-second lockout or whatever, and you can ruin yourself because you don't have any base health. But toeing the line, Kirby able to do that. Tendies will jump forward, gets the stun after this Searing Charge from Porkchop, so no gank available there for Loker.
Yeah, that was a pretty decent buffer, actually. If that stun goes off any earlier, I think that's just dead Ornn, even with the flash.
Yeah, I am kind of curious. I haven't seen Phase Rush on Jarvan. I don't know if that's a tech choice or maybe a mistake after last game from Loker.
I have been noticing that Phase Rush has been gaining popularity on a lot of champions that it wasn't initially played on, where it's just like kind of a pretty default option for junglers in general now. I could be wrong on that analysis, but I definitely see it more often, especially down at my level in gold, than I used to.
Yeah, I've been enjoying it on a couple of different champions, but I don't know. Jarvan feels like a strange one to me, but we'll see. Rito gonna find Loker, get a decent trade-off. Because yeah, you'd like EQ auto, get a bunch of move speed, which I guess is cool, but I don't know if that's like you're not really trying to track people down or run away, so it's. I don't know. I'm probably overthinking it. It's probably really good. Loker's a god, and we'll see. I'll eat my words, but it feels weird to me.
Yeah, and early so far, these lanes are kind of going the way we expected them to, except for potentially the CS diff up in the top lane, especially for a lane that's slow pushing for the Ornn. But yeah, other than that,
Kirby
Curb
getting
Stomp might
poked.
be-
That
yeah,
plant
he's
the
dead.
auto after the flash from It's Me That's OP. That was really good to know the damage that he needed, and good trade for Pork Chop in the top lane. He's a little bit low. Let's have fun. Could potentially trade this one out. Gonna go in with the E, and he'll take down It's Me That's OP. Now Talented, getting a couple more autos, just takes that empowered Q to the face, though. And yeah, 1-for-1 trade. Kill on the Zyra, kill on the Ezreal. Probably pretty even, all things considered.
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate for It's Me That's OP. I think he was feeling it, but without the Ignite, once Let's Have Fun gets that Conqueror healing, he can kind of just E forward and not really expect to die to Senna, which he didn't. So that's a good trade back there.
Yeah, Loker in the top lane. Ooh, forces the flash with the EQ. I really like the way that he played that gank to make sure he got the maximum usage out of his abilities, but unfortunately foiled by Pork Chop's flash.
That was pretty nice. You know, Loker's been trying for this top lane pretty heavily. He's actually going to pay a visit here in mid as well.
Yeah, actually gets the knockup on Alacrity. Hits the Shuriken flip, can dive in, but right into the jungler and support who've roamed up. Cairo looking to trade. He'll get Alacrity down. Now Rito and It's Me That's OP going to chase him down. Plant doesn't actually give him the auto, but he's in a little bit of no man's land right now, able to dodge out of the queue. Oh, the Shuriken flip over the wall. He might be out.
Yeah, I think he is. Rito doesn't predict correctly on the movement for the Vault Breaker, and you know, that was a really unfortunate misplay, I think, from Alacrity. Once Jarvan uses the Flag and Drag, there's no point in dropping the Miasma on him, and he didn't get it far enough to affect Cairo, so Cairo just kind of gets to go in pretty unslowed, not grounded, at his leisure.
Tendies doesn't want to let Pork Chop back. Going to go ahead and hit the ultimate that he just got. Needs to be careful because Pork Chop's going to level up. Now has the Ornhorn. We'll see if he can trade this one out. It'll be the turret and successful trade for Tendies underneath the tower.
Yeah, that was a little bit more risky than it probably needed to be, but Ornn getting that level up at that point in time, if you're not tracking the XP, is kind of unfortunate. I mean, he was basically dead to rights before that happened.
Yeah, the big thing I think is a lot of those minions are going to die to the tower, so it'll kind of extend Jax's gold lead. Good root from Talented and It's Me That's OP. They're trying, they just don't have that raw damage to chunk through the Yuumi Ezreal. Let's have fun running, trying to kite away, and he'll successfully get away. Gets the heal off of the Zoomies from Curb Stomp as well, and they'll be okay.
Yeah, they're fine for now. The issue is if that's what that trade looks like 2v2 before 6, then I'm pretty confident that after 6 they definitely have the damage to kill them with Dawning Shadow and the I don't know, Zyra's ultimate.
Strangle Thorns, which is not a great name,
right.
but yeah.
No, it's a little cringe, but you know, that was a different time in League of Legends. You know, Zyra's a pretty old champion at this point.
Yeah, do you remember her old passive?
Oh yeah, what an experience.
Where she'd just die, turn into a plant, and just kill you. Real thematic. It really wasn't. Kairo's just going to assassinate Wairito on his blue buff. Pork Chop not able to hit the Searing Charge, and Loker will get out with his assassination successful on Wairito.
And you know, we're getting to the point now where I think the CS difference up in the top lane is one of the most important things we could talk about, because Tendies is going to hit his first item way before Porkchop has something that counters it fairly well. I mean, he hasn't prioritized the Bramble Vest early, even though the Conqueror plus Vamp Scepter has already come through, so
ooh, the Dawning
favoring
Shadow.
the bombies in wave clear.
Trying to snipe out Let's Have Fun. He'll survive with just under 100 health there. Perfectly
Not
fine.
close.
Yeah, but they're going to lose another turret plate or two for this, and Talented and It's Me that's OP. It's not a huge gold lead right now, but the advantage that they have in terms of trading, I guess it is a decent gold lead. It's about 1.2 thousand. 1.2 thousand. Jesus. No, that's actually right. I'm just really tired after a day of work. My bad. Yeah. Anyway, it's all on Zyra, is what I'm trying to say. It's not on the 80 carries.
Mm-hmm. And it all being on Zyra actually isn't too bad when you've got team fight tools being thrown around, like the Jarvan Jacuzzi and the Ornhorn. You can keep people in place for a fair amount of time. Especially if Jarvan accidentally ends his own team, or Cataclysms as the Akali goes in or the Jax goes in, for example. But Zyra's one of those champions where you don't really feel bad having gold on.
Yeah, Cairo takes the bait a little bit. The Vault Breaker charged up, gonna fizzle from Wairito. Cairo doesn't hit the 5-point strike. He's still got the second part of the perfect execution, and he'll get out to safety. So, you know, not the ideal usage of that ultimate, but he'll at least survive the gank and get a little chip onto Wairito.
And Shroud is a really good ability, is how that
But now
went.
Loker looking for it. Hits the EQ. A good Petrifying Gaze from Alacrity. He'll get snared up by the last chapter. Final chapter? I don't know. Cairo gonna take the kill off of the passive. Alacrity just had nowhere to go. No flash up. Really well timed gank. Pork Chop now looking to turn around. He'll hit Tendies with the second part of the ram, but not gonna be able to find any more damage.
Yeah, it's the final chapter, and I think that's because the last chapter is a little too close to Lost Chapter, and you know that the team in charge of naming champion abilities is being a little bit more kind to casters. I think after the Twitch ult fiasco was when that started being an accepted protocol.
Yeah, I mean, some of their ability, I don't know. Like, Kiana's abilities are all just terrible to cast, so that's a thing.
Yeah.
But
they did fix the Lux problem, so the Lux ult is no longer a thing.
Loker went for the flash. He went for the flash EQ, wasn't able to get it. Gets the slow from the W, trying to finish that one off, and just gonna die to a casual clap from Porkchop underneath the tower.
I would make a joke about Ornn being the assassin tank mage backline frontline something, but that was more just Loker going a little bit too far for it.
Yeah, if he had the Dragon Lance, the extra Q up, I think he'll get that kill, but the cooldown just a little bit too long at this point, so instead it looks a little bit like an int, but that's okay. It happens to the best of us.
Yeah, and despite having a pretty decent counter matchup, Alacrity's actually down 30 CS and 2 kills in mid lane. Like, this is a really scary Akali. Gunblade pre-12 minutes finished for Cairo.
Yeah, good roam though from Alacrity, getting some pressure on this bottom lane tower. They're maybe looking for a dive as Wairito is half health for some reason, but he's here to try to start the fight. Hits the Vault Breaker onto Loker, forces that flash over the wall. It'll be the tower in the bottom lane for US Army. They get the dragons as well, so they've got 2 of them stacked up. It's still a 1,500 gold lead for RTM, but the only place they've really had pressure is that top lane. But it's a lot of pressure. Tendies has that 70 CS advantage right now.
Yeah, which is... Yikes, that Tendies just does this to people. I was watching their VOD of the scrim against Platinum, and at one point on Samira top, he was up some ridiculous margin of CS against Lipo's Malphite. So it seems to just be a thing.
Yeah, I don't know if he's exceptionally good at right-clicking the minions or his opponents have been exceptionally bad at right-clicking the minions, but it always seems to work out in his favor. So we'll have to see how Porkchop can scale up, if he'll eventually finish an item or if he's just going to garage sale the entire game. Despite all of that, though, able to win some trades just because Ornn, but Blade of the Ruined King will heal Tendies back up.
Yeah, that's the peak Ornn experience. You're down, you're getting your CS doubled. You might be the same level, but you're missing a full item on your opponent, and you're still winning trades.
Yeah, Talented gonna get that soul. I like the little invade again from Loker. They take away the blue buff. Even setting up a little trap for Wairito as he goes. Decides against hitting that scrying orb. I don't know if he saw them, got that little glimpse, or just had his spidey sense go off once his blue buff was missing. But turns right back around, doesn't get killed in his own jungle. So heads up by him, and now Tendies. Maybe a little overextended is Wairito trying to fort. What? That was...
Wow, that looked like an animation, because even Tendies in chat is confused as to what was actually happening there. The Vault Breaker definitely went off into what I can only describe as like a really, really fast ult.
Kirby. Alright.
Oh no. Yeah. That's also the Yuumi when not attached to somebody experience. A lot of staple experiences happening in this game, but we are Manamune for Manamune in the bot lane. Pretty even CS there. It's really just the solo lanes for Return of the Middlesticks that are giving them this ridiculous gold lead.
Yeah, It's Me That's OP has a pretty decent sized chunk of gold, and that Zyra's going to be a big threat. Has the Liandry's Torment finished up, and it feels a little weird to look at your big carry as your support, but that's where it feels like right now for U.S. Army. Everybody getting some heal debuff, though. You got the Bramble Vest, you got an Executioner's Calling. It's going to be forced here by Loker, though. Let's Have Fun gets chunked through as well. Gets left in the pit. They trade 1-for-1. Loker gets out with the final chapter. Double teleports coming in. We'll see who can make the bigger impact. Tendies goes in, gets pulled back a little bit by the Vi, but it'll be finished off as Tendies takes another kill, but the clap follows through onto Loker. Tendies still wants a little bit more. He's got the Yuumi on top of him. He feels invincible. Unfortunately, he is a little bit Oh, never mind. He's not invincible at all. He just kills Talented out of nowhere. The RKO off the top rope. And yeah, Porkchop has double buff. He's regenning a lot. I don't think Tendies can take this trade. Oh, I really don't think he can take that trade.
Yeah, Jax has this effect that is kind of like Lee Sin syndrome, where you think you can win everything. And most of the time, to Jax's credit, once he has the correct items, the optimal play is actually just to go for every fight, because you likely win it.
It's Me That's OP, gonna stop that back, be very annoying on the Zyra. And that's actually super important, as it's gonna stop that back timer before the dragon can spawn. And that means that US Army will get another inside track on this third dragon, continue to stack toward that Ocean Soul. We'll see if they can, you know, finish off the dragon, or even start it at this point, because all of the RTM members swarming around, but they don't have Tendies, and they're about to not have Curb Stomp as he gets caught warding solo again.
I mentioned this on cast in the Gold series recently, but Yuumi has kind of replaced Lulu and some other enchantresses as the get caught warding Omega Lol.
Ooh, Loker trying to run toward Cairo, but it sets him up for a little bit of interesting times, but Cairo able to finish off Wairito with the Shuriken flip, and everything's kind of a mess, but right now US Army doesn't have the junglers, so that should be ROTM able to jump on the dragon. Kirby now respawned, but he's got no one to travel with, so it'll take him about 3.5 years to get there. We'll see if US Army wants a fight. They're going to find the snare onto Tendies, not able to get the knockup. Still trying to chase him down. They're losing control on this dragon. Loker's so low, though. It's finished off, but it's stolen by the Cassiopeia and immediately finds the double kill as well. Tendies jumps in. They'll trade back onto the Senna. Cairo still has his Shuriken available. Tendies gets knocked up. Can he tank through everything? He cannot. Kirby just kind of awkwardly hovering around the top side of this fight. Can't find anyone to latch into. Cairo's going to hit the Shuriken flip, but I don't think he'll want to take that one into Porkchop. So Tragedy strikes a little bit there. That was 3 kills for Alacrity. Maybe a 4th one as he's trying to travel through. Let's have fun. Still poisoned. Curb Stomp jumps back to him, but the poison is enough to take him down, and Alacrity's on that killing spree.
Yeah, and that just got really scary at the end of that because of the number of kills Alacrity was able to pick up. I was going to talk about a point that you brought up where, you know, there's a game state that Zyra is your primary carry as support, where it doesn't feel super bad because Zyra is one of those supports who I consider capable of that, at least from a mid-game standpoint. You know, there's a reason Zyra was at one point a mid laner, but now you have an actual carry in Alacrity who just finished up the Rylai's and is probably reasonably close to having Seraphs instead of Archangels.
We can hover over. We'll do a stack check. Yeah, actually 10 away, so he'll finish it up with the next one. Check out some of these tiers, right. 522, 395. Pretty far off from the man immunes, unfortunately, but... yeah, as you're saying it, that sense was just tingling there. You have ESPN, I guess.
I just... I do a lot of checking based on
Cairo.
Timing points.
Cairo! The solo kill for the Akali on the Ornn.
That feels like full armor Ornn is what it feels like into a mage. That's probably not who you want to be matching Akali in the side lane.
Yeah, I honestly was impressed at how little time that took. But yeah, Tendies gets caught, just stunned up, can't do anything. Alacrity's on the rampage now. It's me that's OP. Almost single-handedly chunks through Loker, forces him to take that blast cone out to safety. They're going to lose their mid-turret for that pressure, though.
Yeah, and as powerful as Alacrity is getting, Cairo is somewhat quietly gone 6-0, as we'll see the Chilling Spine onto Curb Stomp. He might be out. I think he's out.
Yeah, he hook up with Let's Have Fun, be able to dash back out. Cairo's still isolated against that Ornn in the bottom lane. We could just see a repeat here once that ult comes back up, but he's going to hit up a recall. 6-0 on the Akali, headed toward that Liandry's Torment. Maybe be able to finish it. He buys... Yep, there it is.
Yep, there it is. And that's terrifying. Those 2 items on, especially against some of the characters that you're primarily targeting. Like, it's going to help you a lot against Porkchop, but Akali stays in fights pretty effectively. Like, the burn is less effective for her than the other Madness passive that you get 10% extra damage just being in combat, because when you're in Shroud and you're weaving in and out of stealth to hit auto attacks, you're never really dropping combat. So you get to stack that up fairly quickly and you get to keep it for most of the engagement.
All right. Well, everybody just kind of chilling out. It's kind of interesting. RTM's gone with Cairo as kind of the main split pusher on the Akali rather than Tendies, which will normally see Tendies be super isolated in the side lane. It's a comp that's built to 1-3-1, of course, but yeah, Loker gets hit up by a snare, forced to EQ over the wall. Now heads back on the other side of the wall, but finds Alacrity there, and I don't think that he wants that at the time being. US Army's going to run into that issue where they are going to really want 2 Liandrys on Alacrity and on It's Me That's OP. So not the most efficient item buys potentially for them.
Yeah, maybe not. And you know, I see that Kindle Gem in Talented's inventory, and I can't help but think that in this game particularly, it's a lot less effective on the Senna than it was when Let's Have Fun was building it last game, where Camille was your primary damage dealer in team fights, if not yourself. I don't know exactly what you would build aside from the Black Cleaver in this case, but it does feel a little bit bad in this team comp.
Oh, engagement here. Porkchop looking for the Ornn Horn. Not going to find a whole lot as the dragon has spawned. Now missing that primary engage tool. We'll see if Army can pull a trigger. They're going to get the knock-up onto Cairo. That's a decent start to the fight. Now Tendies gets knocked up by the Zyra ult. Loker goes in, hits 3 people into the Jarvan Jacuzzi, but there's no follow-up damage from ROTM. The Dawning Shadow almost takes down Loker. It's going to force him to retreat, and the Dragon's going to go to US Army, as well as an extra kill as Loker tries to close the gap. Now they will find the Assault and Battery onto Let's Have Fun. They'll dive in. Bunch of kills being traded back and forth, but Tendies falls. Cairo's in trouble as well, and US Army has found the fight that they need.
Yeah, that was really good front-to-back team fighting from US Army. They got Tendies with the grasping roots, and then this kind of just figurative wall goes up where you've got Zyra Stranglethorns on the ground with Miasma layered on top of it, and Tendies just kind of standing still in Counter-Strike, not being able to play the video game.
Yeah, and that's also the Ocean Soul going over to Army. Let's Have Fun and Curb Stomp, looking for anything they can find, any little bit of reprieve from this. Force them off the Baron, anything. They're going to force It's Me That's OP off, but the Baron goes over to Army. Tendies looking to join. Doesn't hit anybody with that counter-strike. Now gets turned on by Porkchop. Whiff a little bit from Alacrity after the dodge from Tendies. They've traded 1-for-1 so far, and now they'll find an extra kill. Getting rid of 2 of the Baron buffs is nice. We'll see if Tendies can close the gap. He'll hit the stun onto Talented and take him down as well. So Porkchop and Yrito, the 2 survivors of the fight. Maybe not, as Tendies still looking to force. He's got the counter-strike available. Porkchop hits the Ornhorn, but now he's separated from the rest of his team. Shuriken Flip lands as Loker will go and tank up the tower, and they'll eventually take down the Ornn. Really nicely played by ROTM. So Yrito, the last one wearing the purple buff.
Yeah, that was actually really well calculated from Return of the Middle Sticks to be able to get all of those buffs off. They dove past the tower, and then actually there was a really nice moment where Cairo Shuriken flipped back, landing it on the Ornn, and allowed Loker to take aggro with the flag and drag before going back in. So really nice management of not dying to tower there. And yeah, we're at a point where I like some of the itemization coming through. Don't like that Talented has picked up the Black Cleaver, as I mentioned earlier, but also I question a little bit why there isn't a little bit more magic resist being picked up on the side of Return of the Middle Six, as there's very little to no physical damage coming through. I mean, you've got Senna poking a little bit, the Dawning Shadow, but Yrito is 1-4, and he's level 12, and his only item is Warrior, pretty much.
Yeah, I did want to point out, I really do like they lost the Ocean Soul and immediately pick up 3 Executioner's Callings, so at least have managed that particular issue correctly, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely, and with the Yuumi, I do appreciate that US Army has picked up 2 of their own alongside the Bramble that's been in inventory for an amount of time. So nobody's healing. No healing in this game. Healing has been banned officially.
It's just that like Earth patch. It's just halved right now, essentially.
Definitely.
Big trade of towers. Kind of interesting. Zyro's model doesn't have an Ocean Soul on it. I don't know if that's a bug. Actually, a lot of them don't have Ocean Souls on them. That's very strange.
Yeah, they were. I specifically remember seeing all of them with an Ocean Soul on them before, and then it seems to have dropped off of 3 of the members.
This is a really weird situation that our team's finding themselves in, though. Loker and Tendies are going to get caught in this blue side jungle, while the rest of them are trying to defend the inhibitor tower in mid. Right now, Tendies and Loker are going to get taken down. Let's Have Fun falls on the dive. Everything just kind of falling apart all of a sudden for ROTM. We had a very even game. Now the gold is actually even. And all 5 members of Army are here in the base taking down the inhibitor. They're going to rush the Nexus, it looks like. There's still 20 seconds before anybody spawns.
Yeah, they're not going to be back up. It was a really rough situation actually there, because they were trying to split the map a little bit, get tower for tower, and then US Army Esports sent 2 back and then didn't stop. And Cairo's just going to die to what is effectively ambient damage from the number of dot sources that are available, and US Army Esports will take game 2.
Yeah, that ending really came out of nowhere. It was a really closely contested game. You could even argue that ROTM had the better run of play for, most of it, but then Army wins the fight by Dragon. parlays that into a Baron, just makes a couple of better decisions, and eventually just kind of rams their way up mid lane.
Yeah, they lose all but one Baron buff, and that one Baron buff didn't actually see that much effectiveness, but Loker and Tendi's getting caught and killed 2v2 up in the top lane, while simultaneously the other 3v3 was also being won by US Army Esports in the Siege, just spelled a really kind of abrupt end to that game.
Yeah, so super weird ending, but we're going to go to game number 3, and we'll see if ROTM can find that dominance from game number 1, or if US Army will find kind of a sneaky victory. So we'll be right back.
Unironically, it happened so quickly that I didn't even have to feign any of my surprise, but I did kind of feel bad for not covering the final team fight of the game. I was talking about Ocean Soul not showing up on character models, and then the game was over.
No, that snuck up on me. I knew what the outcome was eventually going to be, but I thought it would get dragged out for quite a while, and then it just ended. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, by process of elimination, I can't have the wrong raffle file, so.
Yeah, that's got to be even harder. Like, playing that game, you're in control of it for most of it, and then all of a sudden your Nexus just dies, and you're like, I guess we lose. Like, those are the worst games.
Yeah, it's that solo queue experience sometimes where you're in an even game state, and then you lose an ace fight close enough to your base that you just die, even though the respawn timers aren't that bad.
Oh, I need to back up to 0, but I've got everything loaded up if you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Quick turnarounds. But welcome back. Oh, I need to change their score. But now we're good. All right. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 3 between US Army Esports and Return to the Middle Sticks. Without further ado, let's just go ahead and start it up then. 3, 2, 1, go. I'll let you introduce the blue team for a change.
I like that. That's a good call. Okay, so on the blue side of the rift, sporting the blue health bars, are US Army Esports. We've got Porkchop up in the top lane on Maokai. We've got Yrito in the jungle on Volibear, Alacrity in the mid lane on Cassiopeia, and Talented, and it's me that's OP on return picks of Senna and Zyra in the bot lane.
And then on the top side of the rift are heroes wearing the red health bars. It's Return to the Middle Six Diamond, Tendies 2 on Fiora, Loker in the jungle on Echo, Cairo Genes on Renekton. I don't know why I hesitated. I had that one right. It's apparently not a good pick according to the GRLCS casters, but we can talk about that. But let's have fun and curb stomp in the bottom lane on Aphelios and Thresh.
Yeah, I mean I can see why they would say that it's not a good pick. I happen to think that a lot of the standard rules that apply to Renekton don't really apply to Renekton because the champion's not balanced, but I can see why they would say that. It does suffer from grounding issues. Melees into Cassiopeia feel bad in general, so we'll see how effective it can be. There is a world in which you hit 50 rage at level 2 and you flash forward with the W and Ignite goes down, you just kill anybody who exists in the video game.
Yeah,
that seems to be my Renekton experience most of the time.
Yeah, if he can build up his rage in this lane, he can get really threatening very fast, and the grounding doesn't save you from the Renekton damage when that comes out on you. But we'll see how Cairo wants to play the lane. Alacrity brought Exhaust, worth noting, so just going for that safer summoner spell.
Yeah, it seems like Alacrity gets the Renekton experience the same way I get the Renekton experience, so That's probably the correct decision, especially when you've got the extra 12% from press the attack that gets instantly stacked off of the W. It gets really scary really fast, like you said. But I like this adaptation in the bot lane specifically. I think Aphelios Thresh, while Aphelios has been nerfed pretty heavily, he's no longer considered the 200 years of 200 years.
Yeah, now that's Samira, I think.
Yep, that's definitely Samira now. She's the new Aphelios. We get I read this Reddit post after Aphelios got released where it was this sort of Black Mirror dystopian version of League of Legends in the future. And it had a character named B Phelios, and it was the B emoji that's like in
Yeah.
block red lettering. It was a really funny post. But that seems to be the world we're living in.
Yeah, I hate this story that one of the ideas for Aphelios was to have his skills change based on the phases of the moon, and that seems so arbitrary and stupid, but also kind of awesome.
Yeah, I mean it's like we seem to be in a state of design where Riot has gone past their experimental phase, and now they've fully embraced how anime can we make this character. And they do a pretty good job of making most of their characters nowadays really, really anime. I think that trend started with Kayn. I'm gonna blame Kayn for that.
Yeah, the brooding bad boy. Cairo, big trade though off of the Meek Loker here, trying to finish that one off, and he does with the Time Winder. That was a big chunk from Loker's Time Winder, and now Wairito comes in, gets a little bit of an experience there. The Ignite is actually able to chunk through his health pretty well, and Wairito forced to run away as well. I don't think we hate Kayn. This is positive. This only goes up from here.
Oh no, the saying that Kayn is anime is a pretty heavy compliment for somebody who's as weeb as I am. Also, something level 4 Renekton mid lane experience. I don't feel bad because I'm a GRLCS caster in saying the GRLCS casters don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, Loker everywhere again, reprising his Nunu experience, but this isn't Nunu, it's a slightly different champion. Kirby gonna pick up the kill with the whip. They get the teleport out of Pork Chop, gonna get the trade back on the support. So a little bit unfortunate there off of the teleport. Loker now gets caught by Wairito, but has the dash over the wall. Follow flash from Wairito, really well played by the Volley Bear.
Yeah, no, that was a play that was responded to very nicely from US Army Esports. I thought when Loker came in the bot lane, it was kind of just going to be a 3v2 experience that Return of the Middle Six gets the better trade on, and then it goes a little bit more extended. Thresh dies to Senna, which kind of feels bad, and then Wairito is able to flash after Loker, and that's a bit of a concerning level difference. He's up 10 CS and he's got a solo kill that doesn't have a death traded for it.
Yeah, and now Army gonna go ahead and start up the dragon. I don't think this should be contested, nor will it be, so they'll go ahead and grab that Infernal Dragon. It'll be an Ocean next, so we'll get the Mountain or the Cloud Rift. Not my favorites, but that's alright. Tendies has been alone in the top lane for a while, and he's got a pretty big CS advantage, and now he can put the wave wherever he wants it. He's got a couple of decisions he can make right now.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was going to say is, like, one of the upsides, if the only upside for Return of the Middle Sticks in this experience, is that Pork Chop, after TPing, spent a lot of time not in top lane. So, while he does get the Bramble, enough gold for the Bramble walking back into lane, he's going back into a Fiora who's about a wave and a half up.
Yeah, and importantly, missing the ninja tabbies of the component, that means that Fiora doesn't get to play till mid-game, so still some opportunity for Tendies, especially with a level advantage. And look at the wave that he has set up, though.
Yeah,
that is just gorgeous.
That is disgusting. Especially considering that the level difference is 6 to 5. There's no way Pork Chop really gets any of this farm. He cannot walk up, especially with Loker hovering like this. It was a nice sapling to spot Loker out, especially in a scenario where you don't have any wards as Maokai down in river.
Yeah.
That actually could have just been a kill if he didn't Sixth Sense that.
Yeah, now it's at least going to force Loker to go back into his jungle and rethink his life for a little bit, but More saplings available for Pork Chop. He's still hovering around. He's getting some of this experience at least, which is something if you're Maokai. Oh,
Yeah,
waits a little bit for that
uh,
minion. He's going to hit level 6, but Tendies pops the ultimate. Going to challenge him to a duel, and looks like he'll get 3 out of 4 vitals and then be forced away. So trade for Tendies in favor of him, and looks like that might have messed up his freeze, actually.
Yeah, it drew one of the minions, most importantly the siege minion, back past the line. It's not going to be too bad. The lane is still slow pushing for Maokai, which feels bad, but it's a pretty even wave state. And most importantly, I think the issue was that lane didn't push up far enough, and Porkchop didn't push up far enough for him to really get the level 6 to level 5 ult engage advantage. Porkchop leveled up as Tendies went in, and he just kind of walked it out.
I also wanted to point out he did a small little re-engage after that. Just, I see you. He forced Porkchop off of the cannon minion and made it die to his own minions. So, preventing the cannon minion with a little aggression. See, we're doing the diamond analysis. We got this. But yeah, Loker hanging around mid lane, maybe looking for that dive on Alacrity. Not going to find anything he likes just yet. I also really liked that little combo from Let's Have Fun. The flamethrower into the chakrams was a pretty nice little chunk of damage onto talented Nitsumi that's OP. Loker looking for the dive, gets the snare, or gets the stun. Alacrity taken low. The ignite is enough to finish him off. All right. And then in the bottom lane, people dying. The Zyra and the Aphelios head back to spawn, but so will Zyra, so it's a advantage. Return to the middle sticks in the bottom lane. Now Wairito has the Stormbringer ticking, but it's not going to matter as Cairo and Loker take him down. The mid-jungle combo coming through.
This is where I get to, as a color caster, pull the whole John Mulaney thing, where I say we don't have time to unpack all of that. Because I don't have time to unpack all of that. I was just about to make a point about Tendies making sure Porkchop couldn't freeze the lane up in top lane, and then all of the other lanes started fighting and people died and things are relevant. So, really good fight in the bot lane, and the 2v2 in mid was also really effective.
Oh, Loker's still looking for this.
Kills.
Oh my god. Alright, Loker
yeah.
Will take the life of Porkchop, and now Tendies can do whatever he wants with the wave again. He's already up to a 40 CS advantage, and it's just going to get worse from there.
Yeah, I figured it out. It's not that Tendies is better at right-clicking.
Good snare, though, from Nitsumi that's OP. Let's have fun. Going to get tracked down, the Glacial Augment, enough to slow him up, and Talented will take home that kill in the bottom lane. So a little overextension. Let's have fun.
In that experience, is like, once you get hit by the grasping roots, you can't flash. You either flash the grasping roots or you save the summoner spell. Because without heal for the movement speed, you're just gonna die to Glacial Augment Senna. Like, you don't walk away from Glacial Augment Senna, you run or you don't move.
Oh, snare gonna land onto Loker. He's got the Chrono Break available. He's gonna need to use it there. Chunks through Wairito. Curb Stomp throws him a lantern. He's gonna get out. That was really nifty. Porkchop looking for the engage. Has the Nature's Grasp coming in. The rest of the team behind him looking for that engage. They'll get onto Curb Stomp. He's got the stopwatch to buy a little bit of time. Let's have fun. Poking from the side has the blue and white combo. Loker gonna die to Alacrity. Just a little bit of a tick on the poison, and the Moonlight Vigil sails just a little bit wide from Let's Have Fun. So US Army gets what they want out of that fight, although they lose Cassiopeia in the process.
Yeah, Cassiopeia died. Once again, Tendies is left alone up in top lane to do what he wants with the wave. This seems to be a trend. I was just about to say before Let's Have Fun died that this is how he gets the CS advantages. It has nothing to do with clicking on the minions.
I'm pretty sure last game it was clicking on the minions because Porkchop did not leave that top lane. This one, it's because he left.
You make a fair point. It also feels really bad for Loker on the tail end of that engagement because none of the abilities that hit him that he died to, except the Twin Fangs, were actually aimed at him. They were all aimed at Curb Stomp, and then he was just right behind it Curb Stomp when they hit him. So he dies. They get to pick up the second dragon, which is kind of concerning considering how the last game ended, which was sole for US Army Esports at 23 minutes, which means they got every dragon as it spawned on cooldown.
Yeah, now Tendy's getting a little bit of the Maokai experience off of that Bramble Vest. Loker's going to grab the Rift Herald. That's a 100% Rift Herald control this game this series for RTM, which is nice. And they should get this first turret with relative ease. They can just drop Shelly up here and take that down. Oh, kind of a weird little spawn.
Yeah, actually, Porkchop did not run as soon as he heard it go down. I think he's probably just dead here.
Yeah, Porkchop and Loker gonna duel it out. He'll dive forward. He needs to be careful of the damage. The sapling actually might be enough. One more auto. He just sneaks that one out. Really well played by Loker. Now Alacrity's here. Tendy's looking to turn it back onto him. Hits a couple of vitals. It's a good petrifying gaze to try to turn that onto Loker, but he'll get taken down. It's a double kill for Loker, and Tendy's kites that out expertly.
That is one of the things I love about watching Tendy's, is he's always expecting what the opponent's going to do. He actually moved diagonally back into Alacrity as the flash forward happened, because he knew that Alacrity was going to flash forward the second he saw him. So that was really well done there.
Yeah, I thought Loker played that really well as well. Managed his distances, kind of caught off guard by the flash petrifying gaze, but knew his damage on the phase dive to finish that one off. So really well played again. This trio we saw during the scrim, Loker, Tendy's, and Cairo, working together really well, and I'm really impressed by what they've shown in these 3 games. Loker,
yeah, Loker's Echo is pretty disgusting. He knows exactly what the champion does and how far he can push it. And Echo's one of those champions that you can push farther than most champions in the game. It's almost like Vladimir. Any champion that has an untargetable or a free get out of jail button.
Well, now we'll settle down just a little bit. 2 minutes, a little over 2 minutes on the next Dragon. Really want to see RTM try to set up for that. Loker dives forward onto the Miasma, not going to be able to track down Alacrity in mid. He's the same level, by the way, Alacrity and Loker.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, Cairo, a level up, has the Blade of the Ruin King finished on the Renekton, headed for Black Cleaver potentially with that Kindle Gem, which would be a good choice, considering you have the Aphelios and the Fiora.
Yeah, has really good value this game. Once again, going for it on Talented. Not a lot of value.
Oh, Cairo in a little bit of trouble, though. The 3-man squad here, Porkchop and Wairito, trying to snare him up. They haven't done any damage to him yet. He's able to kite that one out, and now Tendy's joins the fray. Big petrifying gaze, though, from Alacrity. Wairito's really low out on the side. We'll see if Loker can finish him off, but Alacrity is going to be the victim on this side of the fight. 2 kills for ROTM, and Loker's still in pursuit of Wairito. It looks like he forced the flash over the wall or a blast cone. Something got him over there, and he'll hide out underneath his tier 2, but Loker's still going to look for it. Dives forward, finds the kill. Jungler sees the jungler blood in his eye, I guess, and yeah, that was a really good sequence for RTM.
Yeah, I'm gonna write my dissertation at some point on trying to force onto characters who can raise their own effective life pool, because Lulu falls into that category. But the main perpetrator is like Dominus from Renekton and Nasus ult. It just doesn't work, especially if you're bringing a tank and a half tank along as part of your damage three man. So that got turned around really quickly and really effectively from Return to the Middle Sticks, and then the cherry on top is Loker diving the tier 2 in bot lane. Just echo things.
Yeah, and Alacrity, there just doesn't have the most damage yet. He's on a garage sale build right now, or garbage sale build. I don't know which term you prefer, but Lost Chapter tier Amptome doesn't do a whole lot for you.
Amptome, Ruby Crystal.
Yeah, Loker gets caught, unfortunately, by the Zyra. He'll get taken down by the Dawning Shadow. Talented with that, and the Dragon spawning now in 1 second. We'll see if RTM still wants to engage. Good hook from Curbstomp to start this one off. Dive forward from Tendy's. He'll at least set the battle line. They'll take down Wairito, so both junglers down. Porkchop still very healthy at the front of this fight on the Maokai. Alacrity chunking through the Dragon. It's going to reset on them, though. Cairo's on the backside of the fight. Big snare from the Zyra forces the flash out of Let's Have Fun. They're still looking to engage. Cairo's on the backside. I don't know if they're aware he's back there, but he can really collapse on them. Curb Stomp doesn't get hit by the W. Just kind of kiting this one out. They're already chased toward Baron. Cairo's still hanging around on the bottom side of this fight. They could get this big pinch. The 4v4 Still should break out at any time. Tendies sees his moment, tries to find Talented, gets a little chunk onto him. He'll have the Lantern if he needs it. Somehow they're just going to get the inside track on this Dragon. U.S. Army not willing to fight for this, and now Loker's able to rejoin. They'll have that Smite available. Not used, unfortunately, but had the Smite available, and Cairo will take the Dragon, so it'll stall that Soul Timer.
Yeah. You know, that was a really good setup for U.S. Army Esports when they got the kill on Loker. The enemy jungler is dead. You get to take the jungle, the neutral objective with your jungler for free is the theory, and then a really nice hook from Curb Stomp into enough CC layering that Wyrito didn't get to play the video game, and suddenly it's a 4v4 that didn't amount to anything other than Loker respawning before Wyrito did, and they just walked back to the Dragon.
Yeah, kind of a strange little sequence of events there, but it goes the way of RTM now. A 7,000 gold lead for them. Loker going to get caught by It's Me That's OP. Almost loses his health bar for it, but has the chrono break. Hook just sails a little bit wide. It tickled him on the backside. It's going to be the tower. Oh, well, it's going to be the death there. Zyra goes down. Loker trying to get the shield, but eventually gets autoed down by Talented. Now Tendies feels the solo kill in his blood, gets all 4 of the vitals, Pork Chop very low, gets another vital to spawn, dives forward, another counter flash. Does he have another Q? He does, but it doesn't connect. Can he actually track it down? Pork Chop turns it back around.
Yeah,
it's a shutdown for him.
I knew the twisted advance was back up, and I'm like, he's gonna go for it anyway. That feels so bad.
He also ruins his own Flame Horizon as well, as Pork Chop going to take a couple extra minions to get back to that 90 gap rather than 100.
So this is something that might just be something that I perceive versus what is actually happening in the game, but I haven't heard anybody else talk about it. I think when Senna gets an auto attack on somebody and that auto attack is going to kill them, she immediately pulls the soul out of them, and they're not going to let me finish.
Yeah, Kirby finds the hook. It's just the trade of supports, unfortunately, as Cairo goes in and takes down It's Me That's OP. So, a little over-aggressive there from both sides, but, you know, sometimes you just need supports to die, I guess. Loker is diving in 1v3, though, and he's on the grounding, able to get off of it and hit the chrono break.
Yeah, no other champion lives there. You can't convince me that Echo is not the escape artist, if nothing else. Maybe Rakan lives there. Like if a good charm comes through, Rakan might live there. But no. The point I was trying to finish is that I feel like Senna's final auto attack on a champion that pulls their soul, the damage applies a little bit faster because she's already grabbing you instead of the laser lining up to hit. Maybe that's perception.
Tendies gets caught over
reality.
the wall. The flash over from Alacrity. He's trying to turn this one around. He has the grand challenge. Gets the ticks. He's got the healing. Tendies. He walked back in. Oh, he's got the lantern. He's out of there. All right. Well,
that shouldn't have happened. I mean, it was expertly played from Tendies' point of view, but you really. It almost makes you upset that plays that U.S. Army Esports probably deserve to work don't work because Tendies is so good at Fiora.
Yeah, Loker just eliminates It's Me That's OP. The Proto Belt for a little bit of BM on the backside of that. Had the flash available. Oh, doesn't hit the chrono break though. Gets chunked out by Pork Chop and Talented. Now Kirby in trouble as he'll get collapsed on. A double kill for Talented. And now with the jungler and support dead, they're all around the Baron. Are they going to start this up? They don't have the best Baron damage. They've got Cassiopeia, I guess. They're going to try it.
Yeah, Cassio has triple Amp Tome now, but no Leandries, so she doesn't shred this like she normally would. And you actually saw it again there on the kill on Loker. I noticed it first in the bot lane when he didn't get the shield off of the parallel convergence, even though Senna was autoing at the same rate that Senna was autoing before. I don't know. I sound like a conspiracy theorist with a tinfoil hat on at this point, but I'm convinced there's something there.
Regardless, it is a Baron for U.S. Army. It's me that's OP. More picks over the wall. He's been really good at finding those little snares and plants over the wall. It's been super annoying. Yeah, Tendies needs another minion here. He'll pick it up. He's got the Flame Horizon back in his sights. So good for him. Now the dragon's spawning. This could be the big moment. Loker goes in. Oh, that could have been a huge stun. Luckily, the flash away. The Moonlight Vigil chunking through a couple of members as well. Tendies and Loker still looking for this engage. Dominus is ticking from Cairo as they're onto the dragon. Flay away, trying to keep Curb Stomp alive. The Stormbringer comes in, a little bit of a chunk through. Cairo just threatening the top side of this fight. Now Tendi's onto the dragon. This whole fight's a mess, but right now U.S. Army's all grouped up, and the smite actually comes through from Loker. Tendi's is caught in the pit, unfortunately might be the sacrifice. Porkchop comes over the wall with that twisted advance. He's still looking to fight. This is so weird. ROTM now rotating around the bottom side of the dragon, trying to get Private Tendies out of here. But it'll be the mid-prio gathered and the Baron buff ticking on U.S. Army, so they'll be able to take down a turret or two.
Yeah, despite being definitely weaker at a 6,000 gold disadvantage, they have got the Baron buff. They are finally able to take the mid-outer towers. Tendies trades that for the bot lane tier 2. And it looks like Return to the Middle Sticks wants to set up for another one of those plays where they remove all of the Baron buffs.
Yep, and one more recall. The Baron should expire here before too long for U.S. Army, but still 4 minutes before we'll see a big objective up. Loker gonna pop in, potentially steal this blue buff. It gets smited away by Rito, so at least it's not on the Cassiopeia. Small victories. Kind of interesting, Alacrity not going for Liandry's. Kind of, I guess, doesn't want to do the double Liandry's with It's Me That's OP, so going for the Morello, it looks like, is his next item.
I mean, without the Rylai's, I guess it's not a big deal. It's just such a staple item, in my opinion, on Cassio that it's odd to see it not built, but it's definitely not something that the champion cannot function without, so...
Yeah, at least at this point, it's an Oblivion Orb. Doesn't have to finish it. Could be, you know, trying to min-max some of that damage. But yeah, Loker on his way to the Lich Bane. Cairo's finished up his Black Cleaver on the way toward Death's Dance. We'll get those double Death's Dance coming through. And we really need to see some heal debuff. So far, it looks like the Thornmail and a Executioner's Calling on Talented. So headed the right way, at least. They're out in front of some of this healing.
Yeah, getting close to it. Alacrity, I think, might have purchased up one too many amp domes at this point in time, but I get it. You recall with just enough gold for that and not your blasting wand. You don't want to go out of base without getting more power relative to where you were, so if you're going to convert them all into items, I guess it doesn't matter, but you really would like to be closer to Morello's at this point with the number of people you need to start applying this debuff healing to.
Yeah, and look at this vision control in the blue side jungle right now for ROTM.
Oh my
Bunch
Lord.
of wards lighting that one up. Nobody can walk in there without them knowing.
Yeah, they've got a similar setup for U.S. Army on the bot side, protecting Porkchop of all people primarily from getting flanked on his defense of the final remaining... Oh no, it's not there. His champion model was covering where it would be. There are no outer towers, or inner towers.
Yeah, we're down to inhibitor towers, which means that we kind of need the Baron buff, honestly, because this isn't the best siege comp from ROTM.
Not only is it not the best siege comp, but there is actually a pretty effective amount of wave clear. Not like Oriana or Anivia levels of wave clear, but it's still pretty good.
Yeah, Loker gonna track down, at least force that Stormbreaker out of Rito, so could have that cooldown. It'll come back up by the objective fight. So
yeah, it'll be up, but the real goal of that engage, the Gromp, was taken over by Loker. I'm all for forcing things and then immediately taking the buff from the person you force things onto.
Yeah. kind of interesting. RTM now sweeping through this red side jungle, going to set up that same vision trap. They've kind of swapped sides of strength at this point. But it looks like RTM favoring that dragon, which doesn't represent a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. Like, it's sole point for either team. But hanging out on this side rather than prioritizing the vision over the Baron area.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting, especially since this upcoming dragon doesn't give soul to either team. It seems like an interesting point to put so much focus on, especially when you're in danger of the Baron buff breaking your base, as we just mentioned, is kind of required for these inhibitor towers.
Yep, so Baron is now live, and 5 seconds on the dragon. We see him circling the pit currently. And all 10 members in this game hanging around the dragon pit. Looks like we're going to have a big fight over this soul dragon. Nobody's starting it up just yet. We've got our battle lines set. We'll see who makes the first move into enemy territory. It looks like it's me that's OP. Going to get that big chunk out of Loker. But now the engage coming through. Pork Chop tries to find Tendies. He's got the lantern out. Miasma blown as well. Big Moonlight Vigil! That was huge from Let's Have Fun as everything explodes. The solo laner's dead for ROTM, though. Pork Chop taken low. They're kiting back now. Talented gets chunked through. Loker is relatively healthy compared to everybody else. Wairito going to trade with him, though. But it's the bottom lane for ROTM that's still alive. Talented, the last one left for US Army.
Yeah, that was an insane Moonlight Vigil to start that off. I think it actually was a 5-man straight up. That plus the bonus damage you get from having Flamethrower up as the ult of choice is kind of ridiculous, honestly.
Yeah.
And like at one point, US Armor Esports had full health bars, and then everybody on the team was at half health or lower.
Yeah, just a huge Moonlight Vigil set up everything. Loker got a little bit too greedy, had the Chrono Break available. That might have been the big difference. As it is, it's still going to be the Dragon in favor of ROTM, and now we'll get another knockdown drag-out fight for this Baron that is still spawned after everybody cleans up their waves.
Yeah, quietly Talented has gone 9-1 and picked up a Runan's Hurricane. I can't say I've ever seen Runan's purchased on Senna. Maybe I'm missing some tech that it adds to her kit that I don't know about. The only thing I can think of is applying the shred from Black Cleaver a little more effectively.
Yeah, you apply the shred and you can steal 3 souls at the same time, which is kind of neat. I don't know if that's cool. Like exactly what it is. I know I personally have trouble with Runans and Rapid Fire Cannon because those items look the same, and sometimes I'll buy one instead of the other. I don't know if that's the case, but
yeah, I definitely think Rapid Fire would have been more effective purchase out of the available Zeal items.
Oh, Tendies.
Baits
out the Zyro. That was disgusting. And trying to track him down. Not going to be able to finish that one off, but he'll get the Vital out of Pork Chop. And It's Me That's OP has nowhere to run. Going to fall to the Blade of Tendies, and now he'll turn on to Pork Chop. Just chunking through. Has to be a little bit careful about that tower. And now Cassiopeia joining up. Doesn't get the Miasma onto him, so he'll just dance right back out. Has more coming up. The Dawning Shadow trying to give that little bit of healing. He's trying to kill Pork Chop. Not going to finish him off. We're going to snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, the Baron's dead.
That was some that was actually pretty quality. I can't flame for that. Well, that's kind of what happens when Tendies absorbs 2.5 people's worth of pressure. Is you get Baron for free, and it didn't even seem like US Army Esports were.
Oh my god!
No.
All right, Loker.
Good lord.
Just gives the last hit. Cairo comes in.
Here, you have some of this. I've got enough gold, despite the fact that he's only got 150 CS and he's putting out that kind of damage as 8 and 6 Echo. Champion's balanced.
Baron buffs on ROTM. Gonna chunk through this inhibitor turret. Talented and It's Me That's OP trying to defend. Loker has the W, not going to get the stun, gets the little shield though, and a chunk out of the inhibitor. Cairo 1v2ing himself on the top side. He'll dive through. Wairito taking down to the Ignite. He'll be able to live. The Moonlight Vigil will chunk through as well, but not able to get onto Wairito. And ROTM still just continuing the siege. Tendies is taking red buff, which is apparently more important than what's going on in the base right now. But some backs now for ROTM, but they got the mid inhibitor, they got a good chunk out of that top inhibitor, and they're in a pretty good spot now to close out the game.
Yeah, they're definitely looking really solid. Cairo, 1 death to his name, 7-1 and 6. He's going for a Zeal item of all things at this point. I think that's probably Phantom Dancer for the lifeline bonus, but yeah, they can with Tendies at this type of power point up 317. The as you mentioned, the Flame Horizon came in a while back, so they can kind of do what they want, because it takes, as we saw, it takes at least 2, maybe 3 people to kill him as long as his ult's up.
Yep. Now the back timer's being hit 45 seconds on the Soul Dragon for RTM. It'd be the full stack Mountain Soul, which be nice to have. Not the most impactful, but getting that little extra shield to keep Tendies more survivable. I'll take it. As he'll continue splitting up on that top side. He's got teleport available to join, so does Pork Chop, so the Maokai could go match him if they so choose. Could just lose the inhibitor. You know, that's also a choice that they can make. But it looks like they're going to send the Maokai up, as well as the Cassiopeia. Everybody just kind of collapsing. Meanwhile, Loker's going to be doing the Dragon. Alacrity chunked through. A lot of CC coming out, and they'll actually take down Tendies. There's that Senna, you know, conspiracy theory coming out again. That was a pretty quick little snap. Now Curb Stomp gets ignited coming through. Loker tries to find a big stun. He'll hit 2, has the chrono break, but he's CC'd. Now Cairo jumps in. The 1 at a time strat for RTM is going to kind of work, because let's have fun. Just chunking through with the Aphelios on the backside. He has a billion chakrams just bouncing off of people. Cairo's really low, dying to his own Death's Dance, unfortunately. And another snare. It's a double kill for Zyra as they're still looking to turn. Let's have fun. Trying to fight it out in melee range, but it's not enough. It's a triple kill for It's Me that's OP. And Loker wasn't able to finish up that dragon. Maybe importantly, we'll see if Alacrity and Pork Chop want to head over there.
Yeah, the inevitability of the 1 at a time strategy being the downfall in late game team fights. Apparently not even Return of the Middle Sticks Diamond is immune from that one. It started off really well. Alacrity actually blew Petrifying Gaze on a actively riposting Tendies as he ran forward with his ult.
Oh, Pork Chop uses the Nature's Grasp to try to get in. Tendies almost got in there. Just enough damage from Alacrity. Forces the flash out of the Maokai. Doesn't burn anything himself, but not quite able to grab that that Soul Dragon. So the game will continue for the time being.
Yeah, and we're at a 3-3 Dragon state where I don't know if this game reaches the point where a team that has Maokai and Volibear gets to have Mountain Soul, but that's definitely not something you want to become a reality. CS differences be damned, giving 2 tanks Mountain Soul is never really high on my list of priorities.
Yeah, I always think it's really funny. We saw it in the scrim last night, but Loker handing over the blue buff to Tendies on objectively a worse champion to have the blue buff on. But
yeah,
you know, sometimes as the jungler, you just need to give the resources to somebody.
It's usually where I would say real recognizes real or something cool like that. But yeah, it doesn't seem to me like Return of the Middle Sticks really has any plans to slow down and play around objectives this game. They're back 4 strong up in the top lane, shoving in that wave once it gets there, and Tendies on his lonesome in the bottom side. They are 5-manning up here with the ghost form Senna ability that I don't remember the name of.
Yeah, they're going to force with that Stormbreaker, and they'll actually find Let's Have Fun, so that's a really big pick. The 80 carried down for Return of the Middle Sticks. Maybe not as big to this team as some other teams in the past, but now Talented and Curb Stomp going to have a duel. I don't know that that's when Curb Stomp wins, but now Cairo able to join. They'll get onto the Senna and eliminate her from the map. Rito in a little bit of trouble as well, gets chunked through the Time Winder. Good hook from Curb Stomp, pulls him back in. Do they have the damage to actually finish him off? Now the dive through from Cairo. They'll get the Cassiopeia. They'll get the Volibear. And meanwhile, Tendies is just kind of ending the game. He killed 2 inhibitors during that time. He flies in from the side and takes down It's Me that's OP. Loker's ignited, but he's not going to fall. And now the inhibitors all will go down across the board. Got to get that full XP value in your bot game as you go through. Tendies still looking for a little bit more. Going to stun pork chop up underneath the tower with a riposte, and Loker will finish that one off for the Bud Light ace and the game victory for Return of the Middle Sticks.
Yeah, that was pretty textbook. You've already limit tested the fact that there is absolutely zero chance of Maokai solo matching Fiora, and even though Aphelios gets blown up at the start of that fight, they is actually yeah, I mean, if it's the kind of situation where Diamond big brained that, and then collapse in around 2 on each side, stopping recall timers and killing people off while Tendies ends the game, then that's genius because that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, kind of doing what was done to them last game, just kind of ending the game out of nowhere. But a 2-1 series victory. ROTM, I believe, improves to 2-3. U.S. Army falls to 1-4 on the season. So a really important win eventually for tiebreakers, potentially for some of those last couple playoff spots. And I I'm really excited by this addition of Loker. He's looked really good in the games that I've seen him in, and these two solo lanes along with Loker playing super well. And Let's Have Fun and Curb Stomp just kind of hanging on their island. They're doing their own thing. They're doing pretty well at it, contributing their damage in team fights. But yeah, really well played by them.
Yeah, it was a really nice series. I really like this iteration of RotM Diamond. I think Loker is really popping off, and yeah, they seem to work really well together.
Yeah, so thanks guys for joining us for the cast. I know we kind of double casted this last game, but you know, uh, sometimes it be like that. So, um, with that said, we'll see you next time. I was trying to think if I had anything else in queue. I guess the next things will be next week. So, yeah, we'll see you then.